wrestling truth resides.
Did you guys hear about Tony Khan's comments at the NFL draft?
I sure did.
I have.
I was gonna say didn't because I really don't give a shit about anything to do with AEW.
I don't either.
I will tell you the honest truth. When it comes to the NFL draft, I watch the first round, maybe the second. Most of the time, with the first round, I'll see who the Patriots pick. Back when Belichick was picking, it was always like some offensive line player from Alabama, and I was like, I don't know who that is. So like, for a while.
So, for those who missed it, the storyline is going on right now with AEW, which makes zero fucking sense because of their past things that have been going on.
Thanks, guys.
The Young Bucks and Jack
the Rainmaker
attacked Tony Khan, and Tony Khan didn't fire them, even though he fired CM Punk for yelling at him.
Yeah.
So this whole storyline is just complete garbage as it is, because people are pointing that out. It's like, you'll take a fucking tombstone pile driver basically, but you'll fire Punk over words that he said to you.
Can I stop and actually talk about that move for a split second? That has to be the dumbest move, seriously, as a finisher. Okay, I'm gonna get you up. The tombstone pile driver is fine.
But the fact that the
other guy does a flip and it's a flipping spike pile. What?
Here.
Oh, they did the Bucks. Yeah, they did one of the Bucks finisher, the one where they do the
driver. It's the Tony Khan driver is what they
the fucking tombstone. The fucking tombstone, but the other one does the flip fucking like assisted tombstone. It's an assisted tombstone pile driver, but it looks like shit.
Yeah,
there's no fucking need for it.
No.
Just tombstone. There's no fucking need for a flippy fucking push down it's fucking stupid.
It's look what I can do type like flashy bullshit.
It's fucking stupid. All right, let's watch dumbass speak about his dumbass company.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, like I said, this whole fucking thing doesn't even make fucking sense. But yeah, we're gonna go for it anyways. Like, it would make more sense if the Bucks would have came out and would have been like, yeah, we know we did this, and Tony Khan's such a bitch that he's not gonna fire us, and like this even chose it, something like that. Because first thing people brought up, like, okay, so you literally have talked about you were in fear of your life from Punk. We saw the video. We see how much of a bitch you were about it. You got yelled at probably for the first time in your life, and you fired him. Is what it seems like.
Oh, everybody's been saying it. He wants to be one of the boys so bad that now at this point, they're drowning. And at this point, he has gone back on one of the first rules that was established when the AEW became a thing, which was Tony Khan was never going to be an on-screen character. He did not want to be an on-screen. That was not the fucking point. But they're drowning now because they did the whole Punk footage thing, and everybody has watched the footage and gone, holy fucking shit. So Punk was actually telling the truth. And that's what it is. He's drowning. So Khan's like, well, I'm just going to make myself an on-screen character because it will make it so it will get more attention to AEW. And it's like, no, it's not getting you any fucking attention because nobody gives a shit about you.
So here's the thing I have with Tony. He doesn't have. I was listening to the Cornette podcast, and I agree with him 100% on this one. Now, when you think of on-screen characters, you think Mr. McMahon, right? He's got this presence. Triple H comes out, man. You hear Time to Play the Game comes out. Triple H has got a presence. Eric Bischoff, when he was in WCW, had a presence. Even Dixie Carter had something to her, right? When Tony comes out there, he's this meek little, like, thanks, guys. You know, he's got nothing. It's like, we're supposed to believe this guy's in charge.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so, I'm not going there.
I think what they're going for, and this is just my personal opinion, I've browsed different wrestling groups on Reddit and stuff like that.
Oh boy, Reddit.
The general consensus is that it is the reason why Tony Khan didn't fire the Bucks is because they're EVPs and that he doesn't have a way to fire them because of their contract. So that's never been said. In my opinion, that's trying to plug a hole where there's a hole. And then I think they're trying to go for more of a shoot style with the whole Bucks and Jack Perry, and because he was involved with the All In. Jack Perry was suspended and not allowed on AEW because of that. So everything that has led up to this point has been a shoot. So I think they're trying to make this look like a shoot. Like, Tony's not an on-screen character. He was attacked. Like, all of this, like, I don't think it's, in my opinion, it's not good and well done.
You know what this feels like? This feels like Vince Russo's writing it without McMahon over him going no to things.
It's gotten, AEW has run its course, and if they don't change very soon, it's gotten to the point where it's late stage WCW.
As I say, it's WCW 2001.
And that's what everybody is saying. Like, everybody, it's late. Yeah, at this point, it's late stage WCW, or it's 2000s fucking TNA, like Bischoff and Hogan run fucking TNA.
Yeah, 2004 TNA.
Yeah, and it's just, the problem is that in this day and age, they can keep themselves afloat. They can keep themselves afloat by just having the diehard fans. Back then, there were the bunch of WCW diehard fans, but back then it couldn't keep itself afloat with just the select 1,000 or so diehard fans. AEW can keep themselves afloat with just the diehard fans, and even with all the hate and shit coming to it, they don't care. They don't see a problem because they're still making money, because people are still giving them money. But at this point, it's late stage WCW. You know what my favorite fucking part of Omega's return was? My favorite fucking part of Omega's return is when Jack Perry tried to jump him. It's been a little bit since Omega's been in the ring, and you can look this up. Omega fucking clocked Jack Perry in the eye. Like, straight fucking punched him in the face. He ducked under a chair, and Omega's first fucking punch nailed Perry square in the fucking face. That's my favorite thing to watch back from that whole fucking segment. It's just Jack Perry being punched in the fucking face. I think Andy just watched it.
No, I'm actually looking up ratings for.
Oh,
yeah. So while you're doing that, awesome. Let's listen to this, and you guys tell me how you feel about the comments that he made to WWE.
Oh, he was very angry at the people that assaulted me. My dad loves AEW, and he's a big fan of what we do Wednesdays on TBS and Saturdays, just like tomorrow night here in Jacksonville on TNT every week. He watches every show.
I got hurt and attacked by the EVPs, but let me make sure I plug the show. That's another thing. I don't listen to Cornette, but I feel like a lot of the comments that I'm talking about, Cornette's the one that I heard make them. But that's another thing with AEW. They've got too many motherfucking shows.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. They
should have two, honestly. They should have the Wednesday show and like the Saturday show. Two's fine.
I think Dynamite's the one. There's too many fucking shows. I can't remember. I think Dynamite's the one that's on Wednesday, right? That's like their main show. Dynamite, that is the only show people give a shit about.
Yep.
Rampage, sometimes Collision, maybe one segment gets people actually invest. Fucking too many motherfucking shows.
Yep.
Well, the problem is they have too many people under contract that are sitting at home and just getting paid, not doing anything.
They're not sitting at the home. They're going on indie shows and saying, "Hey, I work for AEW."
Not the big name contract.
No, I was gonna say the big names. He's right. Are just sitting at home. The ones that aren't being fucking used, but are still under contract.
When's the last time we saw Ricky Starks on AEW?
Ricky Starks is a CM Punk guy. That's why.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's one of those guys that he's a good talent. He's a talent that can actually get himself over, and actually people like to see him. And all of a sudden, Big Bill is feuding with Jericho, or which was with Jericho or something. And no, Ricky Starks is just gone into the ethers. It's like
because Ricky.
Yeah,
Starks
well,
what about fucking
fuck, what's his name? Big muscular motherfucker, huge dude, mohawk, fucking
Lance Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Brian Cage. I was thinking the Drill Claw, but
Yeah,
the name wasn't coming to
Brian
me.
Cage is in Ring of Honor right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
he is. I thought he got hurt.
Why? Why?
Because that's where they put him. That's the thing.
Why is he working AEW's fucking NXT instead of being on the main fucking promotion? That man has more than enough pulled his fucking weight.
There's reasons.
There's reasons. But here's my
reasons.
thing. AEW has 3 time slots, right? Why isn't one of those time slots simply ROH? This is the ROH hour. This is where the ROH titles are defended. They're not on Dynamite. They're not on Rampage. They're on ROH. This is where the ROH storylines happen. This is where the ROH stuff. And here's the other thing. Tony needs to stop booking. He's a good idea guy.
100%.
He's an awful booker.
100%.
My biggest gripe with AEW, one, in my opinion, it doesn't feel special.
Yeah.
When I watch WWE, especially from a professional televised standpoint, it feels special. I can't see Gunther. I can't see Cody Rhodes. I can't see any of these guys anywhere else.
Cody might not have been a good example, but yeah.
Why? He absolutely is, because
He can't. He's a good. He's a good example now. Wouldn't be a good example prior, but
Yeah.
Correct.
he's a good example now.
But that's
now, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like outside of the big names, you can see a lot of these other people in a lot of different places.
It's true.
And that's okay. That is okay. But I want to see them presented on live television.
Yeah.
When, like, Hikaru Shida, AEW Women's Champion, she just wrestled Athena in Ring of Honor. Not saying that's a bad thing, because Athena's the longest reigning women's champion in Ring of Honor or something
Sam,
like that.
hold up.
Yeah,
I thought Toni Storm was the AEW Women's Champ.
or Ring of Honor.
Okay. Well, no, because you said Hikaru Shida was the AEW.
She used to
champ.
be AEW.
Used to be.
Women's Champ.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, did I miss something somewhere?
No, she
Moving on.
used to be.
I thought.
Dropped it. I thought you just dropped it at Dynasty.
No, Toni Storm still has her belt.
Wait, I thought fucking Willow Pix was
That's
the fucking.
that's the TNT championship.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the secondary belt.
What the
That's-
Yeah.
There's
But-
5
but the
belts per
point I'm
division
making-
now.
Hold
You
on.
don't
I
have
got-
a fucking. You
I
don't
gotta
have
make
enough
this
of a
point.
fucking women's division to have multiple fucking women's heavyweight titles.
I gotta
The-
make this
the-
point. Hold on. Keep talking, but just
The point I'm making is just my problem is that nothing AEW does is special. It's not, their presentation isn't special. Okay. And then I am truly concerned about the risks some of these wrestlers are taking now. I watched a clip last night of Al Snow watching a clip of Will Ospreay against someone, and it was like they went to do the Sami Zayn brainbuster in the corner,
Yeah.
but instead it was like a stalling vertical and then just dropped straight down, and Will Ospreay landed on the top of his head and shit. Like, what's the payoff there?
Well, look at Darby before he got injured. Look at that fucking insane fucking 40-foot high flip fucking onto the concrete bump that motherfucker took.
By the way, man, you showed the title belts on the screen right now. I was just looking at the list of current champions, and it's kind of wild when you look through it because, like, some of these names are like, now it's cool to see them, but at the same point, it's like some of these guys maybe I don't know. Like, so Swerve's your AEW champion. Cool. Swerve Strickland, he was one of the hottest acts coming up. I think, honestly, him winning the title hurt him a little bit because I don't think he's as hot now because of Moxley. That's the other thing. The New Japan belt shouldn't be defended in AEW, but that's just me.
Yep.
Then okay. My thing is, I have a few different things. Swerve is champ, cool. That he's fucking. He's an awesome performer. He's got a great character. Like, that's great. For starters, I don't like the fact that Joe was the transitional champion.
But Joe held it for like 6 months, man.
Still, it was the first title the first heavyweight style title that Joe. Fuck off, Con. I'm booking your show better. But no, I agree with the New Japan comment. It's the same way with ROH. That's why, if you think about it, AEW itself, yes, has a fuck ton of titles, way too many titles. But at the same time, it feels like AEW has way more fucking titles because all the ROH titles are defended on AEW. The fucking New Japan titles are defended on AEW. So it feels like, along with the 15 fucking titles that Khan has, also you got the fucking 10 from ROH, and you got the fucking 4 from New Japan, and you got the fucking 8 from this, and the 12 from...
You know what I think it is for me? I think it's pacing.
Okay, I can see that. Let me just hold on, Matt, before you start getting going here. So I just looked here. AEW has 9 titles. 9.
Oh, yeah.
On one show. WWE has 8 titles over 2 shows.
Yeah. 9 titles, and I hate the fact that I think I could name all of them.
So,
what?
Well, it's not that hard. You know, you got the TNT title, then you got the TNT women's title, then you got the tag champ. Oh, sorry. And then you got the tag champs and the women's tag champs, and you just got to fucking... Hold on. Every corresponding title needs a women's title, even though you don't have a fucking women's division big enough or good enough to give them that many goddamn titles.
So you have the AEW World Champion, the AEW TNT Championship, the AEW International Championship, the AEW Continental Championship. Just merge those two. The FTW Championship, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the AEW Trios Champions. I forgot that was a thing. AEW Women's Champion, AEW TBS Champion.
Oh, the AEW Trios Champions that they gave to fucking Switchblade and the Gun Boys, who are also the ROH champions. So now they're the unified fucking Trios champions because they have both Trios titles. Also, you said Continental and Inter champion. What the fuck was that?
The AEW International Championship is being held by Roderick Strong at the moment. The AEW Continental Championship, that's the one that has a tournament every year, and whoever wins the tournament wins the belt, but I don't get it. I don't know. That's one held by Okada.
See, my thing.
Okada has a title?
Yeah.
Yep. My thing about all this. A wrestling promotion should only have as many belts as your top stars, I should say. So for me personally, I think there should be your main promotion belt, you know, for the WWE. A heavyweight I actually enjoy having like a heavyweight because it's like you can have a different like style, whatever, clash, whatever. Heavyweight and then tags, and that's literally like the only belts I see that matters.
So do you know who can cut a promo? Tony Khan. Let's get back to this.
I'm surprised you haven't moved on since.
Dude, we just veered off.
I started. I started
Lee
being
Miller and Big Country Jason Maverick. Lee Miller is my tag team partner. So hello.
So
See, this is why I can't like be put in a podcast scenario because I have such a like deep psychological like
It's
thinking in the way I
Problems,
think
we
of
know.
good.
seriously
It's all
in
good.
the way that I think of pro wrestling. So it's very much I get put on a ask Cat what happens when you put me on a podcast.
Oh, I
You
just
put me on a
sat there listening to
podcast
you.
and I'll fucking go. He sat there the whole fucking 2 hours for the podcast and I just went.
Yeah.
And you're going right now. Let's get back to this fucking video so we can move the fuck on.
All right.
I don't want to fucking listen to Tony Khan.
Cat, just play it.
Something
Just
like
play
that.
it,
It's
just
never
play it.
happened before. You know, AEW, we've been doing this for 5 years. We are the most successful sports startup since the AFL pre-merger. There has not been a challenger brand that has gained as much market share as AEW.
I didn't look that up, but is that actually true?
I wouldn't be surprised that, I mean,
Would UFC
Oh.
be bigger as a startup?
No, because UFC's first
Right.
few years
That's right.
struggled hard.
Oh, that's
we are
true. That is
greatly
true.
misunderstood.
Yeah. No, UFC for the first, I want to say 5 years or so, like really struggled. They had it was a niche audience until like Dana White really came into it. It was really hard, and then they got like the fighter on like
Ultimate Fighter, yeah.
the Ultimate Fighter,
Like,
and then the pay per view started picking up, and then like you got some stars, you got guys like Iceman and like guys like that, and then all of a sudden it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Because here's a funny thing about it. They make fun of WWE and stuff, but they take storylines from the WWE.
So here's the thing: is with the UFC, it was almost dead until that fight between Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin. That fight really saved the UFC.
BRB.
I just don't know how much I believe that they've gained the largest market shares in the shortest amount of time, because like my brain goes to TNA even in the wrestling world back when they had like Sting on there and people like that, like when it was hot and it was on Spike TV.
well, you also
I guess I guess I listen to that and I think of it more like modern day. I think he's talking like in the modern like setting.
Well, not just that. The everybody kind of forgets too. When AEW started up, it was a extremely big deal. WWE was actually terrified of AEW because what they were doing was the right move. They were hiring guys instead of writers that are just coming out of writing school. They were hiring actually WWE guys doing stories. You had all I'm thinking is Mr. Ass, but it's not. What is it?
Billy Gunn?
Billy Gunn. Yeah, Billy Gunn. You had William Regal come in. You had Chris Jericho was first big name sign, and then it came to John Moxley. There was a big deal when AEW first started with Cody Rhodes, MJF, a bunch of other names that were signed that were a pretty big deal in the independent wrestling. Like I think people forget. WWE was signing guys to 5-year contracts because they were terrified they were going to jump over to AEW in the very beginning.
That's true.
In the very beginning, it was a pretty good promotion. They were going against NXT, and it kind of felt like the Monday Night Wars, where you could see what's going what. The problem is that over time, it just felt like it was getting stale, and they're continuing to do the things that people were pointing out that this isn't making sense, or why are you doing this? And instead of correcting it, instead of like, I think Paul Heyman had a quote before. I can't remember what he was talking about. But he was talking about like Monday Night Raw or something like that. And he's saying like if Monday Night Raw was so bad, he would fire everybody in the office, and then he would airlift a new office with new crew down to rewrite everything, like something like that. But it feels like AEW doesn't want to hear the criticism. Don't get me wrong, it's cool that they took a new approach to like they're trying something different. However, the different isn't working. It's been 5 years. The different isn't working. You guys need to go and change it. We know people that we're not going to say names because, you know, they want to keep in private. We know people that were going to go to AEW and said, fuck this place when they got there. So it's one of these things where like it needs a correction. It needs help. Or it's going to be continuously to WCW to eventually where it's going to be a promotion that is going to be bought out by the WWE just for shits and giggles. Like I think even made that comment. It's like if they really wanted to, they could buy AEW right now.
Triple H told that to Billy Gunn at the DX when they get inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He's like, "Be careful, or my father-in-law is going to buy that piss little company of yours."
So it's
that's the thing is AEW is no longer the alternative. That's kind of what you're saying, Kat. Is AEW started when it started out, it was the alternative.
People
it was
hated
something.
WWE.
It was something different.
People were tired of the bullshit that was going on in WWE. If you were a guy that were looking behind the scenes, you were seeing that. What the fuck am they doing to my character? Like, I don't agree with this shit. I'm not making any money, and the product was going down. People, Vince McMahon was not listening to ideas, which is why everybody wanted to go to NXT because Triple H not only listened, he built off that or even gave them better ideas, which is why Finn Balor wanted to go back to NXT because of Triple H. So
it was something different, and now they're doing different, but they're doing different in the sense of WWE. Like they're no longer the alternative. They're they're continuing to try and compete with WWE, but at the same time compete with WWE by doing stuff different, and those two things do not mix. You can't do your different shit and also try and compete with WWE and push all these fucking shows, all these fucking titles, all these fucking collabs, all these, like, you can't, those two things don't mix, and that's what fucking dipshit on the screen here doesn't fucking understand. And
the irony is they started as a sports-based presentation, and now they're the sports entertainment where WWE is now the sports-based presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's exactly it.
I have a question.
Mm.
And then it leads to a thought. The question is, where is the disconnect? Because not much in regards has changed in AEW. Tony Khan has been booking since the beginning. There's been other people involved, sure, but it's primarily been Tony Khan.
And
where's that disconnect, and why is AEW not thriving? Because their roster says they should be.
So I think Kat just said it. Okay, finish up, man.
Because that's going to lead into my thought for you guys to ponder before you answer this question. My thought is, I wonder if it's because they very much cater to the smart fan instead of the casual fan. And if that's why wonder if you see a lot of professional wrestlers or people who are training or understand certain aspects, why they kind of shy away from AEW or struggle more with watching AEW, because there's nobody there to say no.
Yeah.
So you have
So
Jack Perry using real glass. You have Darby Allin throwing himself onto a bed of chairs and coming right down on the top of them. Like, you don't have someone to say, hey, maybe this isn't a great idea. And there's a concern on my end. I know I brought this up earlier, but there's a concern on my end of when is something bad gonna seriously happen?
Yeah. So Sam, I actually got a couple points on that. Okay, so one, My thing with the AEW is when they started, they're like, oh, we don't want faces and heels, but the problem is in wrestling, you need good guys and bad guys.
Yep.
So a great example of this is like if I'm flipping through 1980s WWF, right? I'm going through and I see the Ultimate Warrior versus Rick Rude. I know who's the good guy and the bad guy. If I see Demolition and the Colossal Connection, I know who's the good guy and the bad guy. If I see Hulk Hogan and whoever, I know who the good guy and bad guy is.
Hulk Hogan, bad guy, always.
But that
80s,
goes.
no. Hold on.
But that goes to what I was talking about with that. There's they cater to the smart.
That's what I was getting to.
Fan.
And the thing is like the casual fan flipping through the TV, stopping on wrestling. If you can't understand the story, what the hell, man? If I'm say it's a Marvel movie, right? You come in the middle of a Marvel movie and you've never seen Marvel before in your life. If it's like all of a sudden you get these really obscure characters, one of my favorite Marvel characters is Nova. No one knows who the hell he is. But if you have Nova fighting a Skrull, you're kind of like, who the hell are these people? But if you jump in the middle of Infinity War and you see Captain America, you know who he is. Same thought process.
William Ospreay is the biggest baby face in that company right now, and he's in the heel group.
Exactly. That is the dumbest thing, and that does go into what Sam is saying. You got these guys that are like they're walking around not knowing who's who, and you got like Samoa. Swerve Strickland is a great example. He's in a group like that too. He's the biggest one of the biggest baby faces. Persona dancing manager manages the heel group. The hell, it makes no sense.
Well, I understand that to an extent because sometimes you just get over.
No, it's AEW's thing since the beginning. They didn't want faces and heels.
They don't know how to book.
But going into the other part of that, they get to a point where I'll give you a second. My brain's coming back to it. Tony is booking, yes, but the problem is, Kat said it too. The talent is also booking. The talent's like, we're just going to do this. Imagine if we walked up to Randy. Randy said, this is what we're doing tonight. And we went, nah, we're going to go do something else. Randy would have our heads.
Randy would look at us dead in the face and he said, if you do that in front of my fucking TV, not only will I come out there and beat you my fucking self, you will never work in this fucking company again.
He would send Ben out with
more than likely.
Yeah.
He would send Ben out with a stick and beat our asses.
No, he would come out. He would come out. He would flip that fucking table that he's behind. And he would get in that ring and beat the piss out of us.
Beat every person.
I think I'm the only one that existed when the whole Lince Dorado thing happened.
Oh my God.
And trust me, he'd flip the fucking table and he would lose his shit.
Going back to the conversation, like it goes, that also compounds into what I said is that there's nobody there to say no.
That's it. They had like vets there. They had Arn Anderson. They had Jake the Snake. They had Jake the Snake Roberts. They had CM
William Regal.
They had William Regal. These are guys that know what the hell they're doing.
Henry.
Yes,
because there's two different types. There's two different locker rooms in that company. There's the locker room that wants to learn, and there's the locker room that has the biggest fucking ego that they don't take. They criticism. They say fuck you.
There's the Cucamonga kids, and there's everyone else.
Why you think everybody that's big that was like big baby faces aren't working on the show right now?
Yeah,
it's because of that reason.
I also think there is an issue with the pacing of their storytelling.
Yeah.
Everything is very, very long term. So unless you're watching every week, and every show, you have no idea what's going on.
The faction thing comes from Japan.
It's super hard to follow.
Yeah.
Because there's also not that short-term story as well. That story that only lasts from one premium event to the next premium event.
Yeah. Like
instead what you have is you have a year-long story between fucking Samoa Joe and X person, and then you have a 3-year story that's being told about Okada and Kenny Omega, and then you have another 4-year story between I love the long-term story, but you also need short-term story
Not
to
everything.
keep the fans entertained and to also pull in new fans.
Right.
Not everything needs to be Cody Rhodes finishing his story.
Right.
You can
That's
have-
why.
You
That's
have
one of the
Jimmy's
things.
John.
That's one of the things that like a company like Marvel, everybody turns to Marvel because they're very good at storytelling. In my opinion,
Not right
that got finished right after Infinity War, and then anyway, Endgame.
And as soon as Endgame ended, everybody was like, every single Marvel movie after Endgame is like, let's make every single fucking Marvel movie Endgame. They try to cram every idea in it, and it's like,
and that's the problem. So some of them have been okay, but some of them I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I stopped watching everything after Endgame because in my opinion, at that point, it came down to you had to watch everything, the TV shows, the movies, and everything to know what's going on.
Hey,
and
to be fair, Loki is good.
I heard
Loki is good.
I am sure it is, but I got burnt out because I watched, and the thing I liked about the story arc they did leading into Infinity War and Endgame is, yes, you needed to understand the overarching story, but you didn't have to watch every single one of the individual Marvel movies to know what was actually going on.
Huh. By the way, if anyone's curious, Dynamite's ratings were actually up this week. So Dynamite for last week was 621,000. Dynamite for this week was 703,000.
Right,
so,
big return, Kenny Omega.
I was gonna say, is Dynamite on Wednesday?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, okay. Kenny Omega came back. So
let's finish the fucking video too. By the way,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I do have a lot of strong comments about what is about to be said.
All right, go ahead.
All right, I'm not gonna stop pausing it. We're just gonna play it through.
Play it,
and then we'll discuss it.
Zuli, do the thing.
In many, many, many years, we are like the Pepsi of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And we're up against a really evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW, like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE's like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. And I'm really proud of what we do down here.
I think.
Even they were like, "What the fuck?" Like, and I understand why he said that, because he said that about Vince. Vince isn't there anymore. Vince is gone. They got rid of him as soon as the shit came out. They got rid of him.
Okay, I'm gonna play my point. The Pepsi of pro wrestling. That's not who you want to be if you're in the cola world. You want to be the Coca-Cola of pro wrestling.
Well, I think he didn't say
the fucking original.
I think he didn't say Coke because they probably would have.
Yes, I know. But
no, the Pepsi thing was a shot at Punk.
I was gonna say it was a shot at Punk. The Pepsi thing was a shot at Punk.
That makes sense, I guess. But I'm sitting here.
I think
as a guy who drinks rum, I don't drink rum and Pepsi, my friend.
No, it was a shot at Punk, because Punk's whole thing is the Pepsi. So that was 100% him shooting at Punk. I like the we're against the corporate or the corporate juggernaut, or the evil juggernaut, or whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah.
Like, are they the evil juggernaut because are they the evil juggernaut because Cody went back to them, Punk went back to them?
Yeah.
Like, how many guys can I name fucking literally left AEW and then shat on AEW because they called out how bullshit your company is? So all of a sudden they're the evil juggernaut? No, they're not. They're the guys who are better than you, and it makes you mad because all the talent you've let go has jumped shit back to WWE and gone, this place actually fucking blows behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, it's how many people have left AEW and they're just like, it's a shit show. Like, now we've all worked for indie promotions that we've walked out of and went, wow.
So well, fuck this place.
And like, I'm not gonna name names. I'm not that guy.
No.
But it's literally, I've walked out of places and they're like, "Are you coming back?" I'm like, "How much are you paying me to come back?"
Because you haven't paid me yet.
So I'm gonna rant here.
Oh,
go
my
for
God.
it. Go for your rant, and then we're gonna go to botches and shit like that. So go for it.
Because I struggle with these comments that he made. Because
wait, Larry?
No, he's talking about Tony Khan.
Oh, okay. I'm back. Okay.
I find it extremely insensitive to compare an entire company, not a man who did terrible things, maybe not even a group of men who or people who might have known what was going on and didn't do anything, but an entire company. You lump them in together and everybody in together with a absolute terrible human being who committed absolute terrible sexual atrocities like Vince McMahon.
Allegedly, we got to say allegedly.
Allegedly,
because he's not as of right now. He is not convicted. So it's as of right now. It's allegedly, even though the allegedly is really, really kind of.
Even though it's very, very
like there's proof and everything.
I understand where we're coming from. It has to be allegedly. I find it very insensitive to the victims of these people to make a claim like that towards everybody and even an entire company and their families like that. It doesn't compute in my head where the payoff is or why you would feel the need of all things to make a comment based on sexual assault victims.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
No.
Well, WWE's like that's why they don't really bring up like they brought up AEW a lot at WrestleMania just to just to fuck around. Is like, and that's the reason why they don't really talk about that. Like AEW needs WWE to promote themselves. WWE doesn't need AEW. And this right here, what he said, basically took away from everything else he said in the draft for this comment. And everybody's basically shitting on him about it. Just the
it's
same
an
way
uncomfortable comment.
Well,
it really is.
And the thing is, they got rid of him. They put him, they suspended him basically when it first came out. And then when more stuff came out, they fired him. They lost a big promotion, a big sponsor because of this, and they said, "No, we're not dealing with this bullshit. You're gone."
You're just trying to be fucking edgy. You're trying to just get the hot button topic,
and it's always been negative. It's always been negative.
I just think it's extremely insensitive in something regards to this. It didn't have to involve that.
Oh, no, 100%. I agree.
You can take any other shot you want about, that's why their talent comes here after they're done there and gets or XYZ, but to go after sexual misconduct, it's a bad look and it's cheap.
When you have sexual misconduct in your company right now being investigated, it's kind of
100%. I agree.
I'm interested. Okay, I don't know if you've seen, but have you seen tweets by Ice Cube's son?
Yes, I did see that.
No,
and they shitted on him. They flipped out at him for making the obvious comments. Here, I'll pull him up while you talk about it.
What'd you say? You wanted me to shut up?
No, I'll pull him up while you're talking about it.
So after Tony Khan made this comment,
you told me to shut up. No,
I don't fucking know.
Sam was like fuming. He was like, "You told me to shut up."
I know where you live. I'll fly my helicopter over there.
I remember when you forgot my name when I was giving you a ride home.
I'm sorry.
He made comments after this, and he said that it was very funny that Tony Khan's making these comments when the same issue is in his company, and that he can name people and it will come to light. From my understanding is O'Shea Jackson, I think his name is his real name. He knows a lot of stuff because of his father. Like, he's involved in a lot of wrestling-based things, and he even has an issue with AEW. But it was interesting to see him be like, let's not forget about what's going on in your own company.
He says some wild shit
This
like that.
came after the Harvey Weinstein comment. I'll read it nice and out loud for everybody, and everybody who's watching can read it as well. So O'Shea Jackson, just when I was going to praise TK today, he says some wild shit like that. LMAO. It's especially funny because he knows damn well he's throwing stones in a glass house. Shanks V responds, no, what Tony said was out of line and not funny, but AEW is still clean. O'Shea Jackson, what I'm talking about is not public yet.
Oh,
Clean like a Baltic hooker.
One thing comes to mind. Supposedly, there was reports a while ago, and they just kind of disappeared, that there was an issue with Chris Jericho.
yes.
Mhm.
Yep, with I can't remember who it was.
I won't
Kylie
say.
Ray.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say the wrestler's name.
It's out there. It's not like it's.
Yeah, it's out
I
there.
just-
The information's already out there.
Yeah.
And
My
rumor says that's why she left AEW.
my thing is I feel like this Twitter user is one of those diehard AEW fans, because the fact that it's like, no, AEW is still clean. AEW is clean. Fucking motherfucker, AEW's had Ric Flair come through its doors, Chris Jericho come through the doors,
I don't
Sabu
know.
come through the
Chris
door,
Jericho,
Jake
who
the
had a
Jake the
fucking-
Snake come through the door. Like, no, AEW is not clean. I don't fucking care that it's the 21st century or whatever the fuck. AEW is not. AEW is just as clean as WWE is. It's just as clean as TNA. It's just as clean as ROH. It's just what fucking happens. It's unfortunate, but it's what fucking happens.
Unfortunately, there's still carnies in pro wrestling.
Hey, TNA has Joe Hendry, and we gotta believe in him.
I believe in
I
Joe
hate-
Hendry.
I hate that fucking. I don't get it, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
That's sexy.